So welcome to Present Fatherhood, and we've said a family where a father is present will always thrive.
Yes.
So I'm here with my boy Jeff, and today we're going to have a very interesting topic. Okay, so our topic for today is how did we respond the first time we were told that word, I'm pregnant. And I think, Jeff, I think we'll start with you. Just tell me, how was your experience, man? How was it for you?
I've said this experience several times, and it never gets old. Like every time I tell it, it is fresh. Kama ni mpya yani. So the first time I remember, we got the child when we were in campus, and we were expecting our first child, and I was told I'm pregnant. We did the test; it was positive, and truth be told, I felt alone. I felt alone because there was nobody to support, to be with me. And we did it. Of course, the finances come into play. Do you have the money? Do you have the house? All those things boggle your mind. And as a man, it takes you to another zone that you operate on autopilot. You don't know what is going on.
It's you up.
Yes, it's really eats you up. And of course, we looked for a hospital that was very close to the house. You could actually touch it. Somebody joked about it, that you could actually.
It was that close.
It was that close. And we were thinking about, do we need to go? Will we want to go through the hassle of getting a taxi? And I'm going to do it. So that is why we actually chose that hospital. And during that time, I want to get to during that day that she was giving birth. We were not living together. And I had to travel from home and go to the hospital. And I talked to my guardian about it, my sister, and they were like, okay, you go, handle it. You will communicate to us. Of course, deeply, I wanted them to be there with me.
Yeah.
But somehow, I don't know whether it was a manly thing, I didn't communicate that, So I went. She had already checked herself into the hospital, and I was there alone waiting. You know how the wait is long. The wait is so long. And something that again we need to discuss is, should fathers be allowed to be with the mother in the maternity room? Because
the delivery room.
Yeah, the delivery room. Because other places they're doing it. And we need to start having that conversation where they have to do it. We have to be there. So I wanted to be there in that room. But they said, waenda tu nyumbani.
Utapigiwa
simu. Bibi atakuwa sawa. That is what they said. And so I didn't obey. I stuck around.
You're just too excited. You couldn't wait for
it. Was a mixture of many things. I was excited. I was nervous. I was anxious, because it is a matter of life and death. And being that it was my first time, I was scared. Truth be told, I was scared of the outcome. Will the child survive? Will the mother survive? Will they need C-section? Because C-section also comes with its challenges. So, truth be told, I wanted people to be there. If I had my friends, if I had my family, just there with me waiting, probably the waiting time would have been shorter. I don't know your experience.
Mine was almost the same, but a bit different. Because the first time you're told, hey, babe, I think something is not right. Then I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, hey, I've missed my piece. Maybe something is wrong, so I think we need to test. So I was like, are you for real? Then she wanted to see my reaction.
Yes.
And I think, women are also very clever people. They always want to see whether this person can be a father figure or not.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, if that has happened, we're grown-ups. There's nothing much you can do about it. We just have to start planning what our next move.
Yes.
So we went and did the test, and it was positive. And me, I come from a family whereby my parents were Christians. We were born in a family whereby you have to first have a wedding before.
There's a certain expectation.
There's a certain expectation, and you see, I'm a second born, and you see, my sister or firstborn had left with a wedding. So expectations, me as the first son, was so high, and people expected. And then I was like, wow, okay. How, and we had already had that conversation with my wife, because we were planning about a wedding and such kind of things, but we never saw this coming.
Yes.
So this had come before. Yes. So we were like, hey, okay, now our problem is not raising this kid, is how are we going to tell our parents, because we're expecting a wedding before this.
Yes.
So my wife was like, hey, okay, this thing is hard. I don't know. I also don't know how to do it. But then I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, we're grown-ups. And I have a job, you have a job. So it's not like you are shifting responsibility to our parents or to anyone else. Yes. So what we need to do is just to make them see that we are responsible enough, that we are going to we know what has happened, yes, and we are taking this responsibility. So the hardest part for me was me going to tell my folks, especially, yes, my dad and my mom. They had already retired, they were back at home.
Yes.
So I went home, it took me 3 days before I could just sit them down and tell them. And the moment I told them, it wasn't straightforward. I was just like, I was almost leaving. So I just told them, Dad, Mom, let's have a conversation. There's something I want to tell you. And they know me. So like anytime I tell them there's something I want us to talk about, they always know there's something huge.
And this is just for the ladies out there. You should also know that us too, we go through that problem of breaking it to our parents, It's not just you guys that have the trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was really hard. So I sat them down and I was like, guys, I was looking for the best words to put it. And I became a bit foxy about it. So I told them, guys, I'm leaving. So just expect end of January, you'll be having a grandchild. And they were shocked. They were like, no one spoke for like 3 minutes. They were like, huh?
And what was your expectations from them? What were you expecting they are going to react? And
I expected they were just, okay, my parents are cool and calm people, and I knew at the end of the day, they know I'm a responsible person, but this was going to shock them, because also coming from church, there's also that thing from our parents whereby
they're like,
they feel like, how will the society,
they're more
scared about how the society will judge them. It's not about what is happening to you.
Yes.
And these are the things that we need to change as parents.
Yes.
When something happens, let's not look at how society is going to judge. Let's look at how do we handle this. But I think the way I put it to them, it gave them time to digest, and then in a few days' time, they were able to call me and ask me, how is she doing? And now I was getting the support. Same happened to her, the way she had to tell her mom, and then we received so much support.
Wow.
And during the whole pregnancy, my mom would call her all the time. How are you? How are you feeling? Same with the mother. And during that time, now we went to the hospital. It was easy. Actually, I was allowed into the delivery room.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
I was allowed.
And how did that play in your psychology? Because I remember mine, I was so stressed during that time.
I was also very stressed, but what really helped me is I come from a family of very supportive people. Mm-hmm. We've grown up, we're 8 of us in our family, and we've been raised together. So we have a very strong family support, and my wife can attest to that. Yes. During this pregnancy, my siblings were always coming to her. So I always know there's that support I had.
Yes.
And also my sister, having had 2 kids before me,
yes,
it was easy for me, so I knew what to expect. I had someone to hold my hand.
Yeah.
So that is the fortunate part that I had that you didn't have.
Me, I suffered during that period. I really suffered, and it actually took me to a level where I was had partial depression. And what helped me is that I was involved in a lot of physical activities. I was training people during that time, training them on fitness and stuff. So it also helped my mental state at that time. And my wife went through depression, or what we call postpartum. Yeah, she went through postpartum, and I didn't know what to do at that time. And that will take us to the next conversation that we'll have about just the psychological aspect of dads during this time, because it is a hot topic that we need to actually discuss.
We have to.
Another thing that I think I wanted during that time is because it is a time for us as fathers to bond with our child. You don't need to be stressed about many things, because unlike mothers, they get bonded with their kids right from conception. But us, we need to be there. We need to feel the heartbeat of the child. Yes. We need to go with the mother to the clinics. We need to bring them up when they give birth. We need to hold those children and just spend time with them. That is when you connect with your child.
True.
But otherwise, you lose touch.
That's a beautiful topic that we have to talk about in isolation by itself. Yeah, and you see, there's a lot of misconception about us men doing what you're talking about.
Exactly, exactly, and that's why we are wanting to change the narrative. So yeah, I think it's been a beautiful conversation. I would have loved for it to go on and on and on, but next time we are going to be ready to get another hot topic. Subscribe, share if you like this video. Otherwise, bye bye.
Thank you guys. Cheers.